Okay. And then we need...
Hey everybody, let's see. I need to find you on my iPad. Hold on. My channel today. There we are. Awesome. My iPad. Hold on. I don't need to hear myself. There we go. Okay. So, how about we do top chat? There. Now I can see the chat. So, today I just thought I'd let's see. Which way? This is... Oh, hold on. My screen. I forgot. I did everything but that. Just a sec. You're going to go black probably for a second. That's okay. I got to make my... There we go. There we go. Let's make you full. There. Okay, come back to me. There. Huh. Now let's see. Did it get set up right again? Oh, there. Okay. So I'm gonna try my new Kristy Rice paints. She has a YouTube channel. But first, I'm going to show you, I was in a tag challenge. Well, it wasn't a tag challenge. It was like an exchange with Beth Schuler. She's on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evenings, like 5 or 6 o'clock my time, which is Mountain. And she does creative stuff. So this is the tag I made for her. Her birthday's the 3rd. Quit wiggling. Her birthday's the 3rd. So this is one side of it. Let's see, can I get it all in here? And it has some different papers on it. It has a sticker. And then this is some of my scraps from my watercolors. I put a cabochon and a ribbon. Then on the back, I used some scraps. I put tag exchange August 22, created by Kristen Henning, Designs and Do-Overs. And then I'm going to write her a little note in there. Oh, and I put in more of my scrap in there. And another cabochon. So I'm going to mail that to her with her little birthday goodies. So that's for her. That was the last one. I made 5 others and mailed them off. So those got mailed. Let's see. A little crooked here. Let me see if it straightened it out. There's a little delay. I should count how much. Ooh, look how dirty my hands look. I've been painting and crafting this morning. That looks pretty good. Pretty straight on. So let me put this one away. First off, it's Making Art for Joy's Sake. It's a 12, I think it's 12 in here. So this is a small one. Paint Crush by KristyRice.com. Has the thumb. You can use this to hold your paints if you're out. Sometimes if I'm sitting out on my couch or something and I'm painting, sometimes I'll hold them that way. And then you open it and you have this side to paint, to mix your paints. This flap does dual purposes. One, it protects your paints, but 2, it also provides you with you can add paints colors down here that you mix yourself, or you could get them from tubes and squirt them in, and if you want to take extras with you, and you can mix on here. And then these are her colors. They're beautiful. I will go over each with you. She has Fearless. I have used them just a little bit. It's Fearless, and that's a neon. So hers are all dye-based. So they have the pigments just like a regular watercolor. And then she added dye-based, which makes them more of a saturated color, bright color. So they will stain your paper, and that means it's harder to pull them off after you use them. And they're also fugitive, which means fugitive is like the color will run away or it will fade. And of course, all neons will do that. It doesn't matter what paint company you get them from. They're all dye-based. That's why they're fugitive. But just an FYI about fugitive, I'm doing an informational video on fugitive. Everybody in the watercolor world and everything is all up in arms about all these fugitive colors, because one of the most popular colors is opera rose or rose opera or one of those. And of course that's fugitive, which means it'll fade. True, it will fade, but it's not like it goes away totally. It doesn't ghost. Secondly, I have paintings that were tempera, which tempera paint is a fugitive type paint. And it was done on newsprint, which is a fugitive printing paper surface. And I have those. Let's see, I'm 52. I have those from when I was in 4th grade. My granddaughter was 8 when she was in 4th grade, 9. So let's just say that's 40 years old. And you could still tell what colors those were. They're not as brilliant, but you still can tell. And those hung in my mom's very, very sunny kitchen for 20 years at least. And then they've hung different walls over the years. I do live in Colorado. I hang up or put up my paintings. I haven't had much problems with fading here, and we are a mile high, so we are closer to the sun than most people. And I use fugitive colors if I want. If I don't, I don't. I do let people know who buy my paintings that there are that. But if you're buying one of my expensive paintings, then and when I'm talking expensive, I'm talking, the 300, 500, 800, 1,000 plus. They are already matted and in a frame, and they are. Oh, Kathy, well, you're getting the whole thing this morning. How are you? And they are already have a UV protected glass on them. The ones I sell on, like on here, on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on my website, most of those, are around the 100. I don't usually sell more than a $200 painting. If they're in a frame, they might be a little bit more. Most of those frames have some type of UV covering on them, just because photographs are a dye-based print ink, and they'll fade too. So, of course, there is some UV protectant in glass that are made for photographs. So a lot of my paintings are in it that way. So saying that it's a fugitive paint doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing. And also, that's the reason I sell some of my paintings as prints, because the prints aren't as delicate as the original paintings. Plus, they're cheaper, and you can get different sizes in them too. So all of these will be dye-based. There are the two that are neon, which is Fearless and Blossom are her two neons in here. And then the rest are shades for, she does mostly floral, so that's what this is for. So now we'll actually do the colors. I have to look. That's why I pulled it out. So Fearless, Calm, Sweet, Fierce. What's this one? I can't read. I can't read by writing. I'll have to look it up. It looks like Dive. I don't know. This one. And then Tend. And then let me flip it around, and we'll start from this side again. Flow, Punchy, Passion, Blossom, Growth, and Thrive. What would this one be? Dive? I don't know what that would be. I'll have to look it up in her brochure. When I got them, my box was messed up. I was a little disappointed because I like my boxes. So I'm spritzing them. That's how you activate watercolors. You can also just use your brush and dip the water, drop water on it. Use a water bottle droplet, or however you want to wet them. I wanted them all wet at one time. In Colorado, we have like our humidity is nothing here. Let's see if I have my app. Does it have my humidity on here? No, I I'd have to do it on my phone. I know that yesterday our humidity was under 20%. So we dry fast, so I keep a squirt bottle. I drew out a chicken, not, you know, a fancy chicken, I guess. Just an easy chicken. And let me see. I can't get to my brushes. My phone is in the way. So I need a crochet needle that's tiny, tiny, Kathy, and I can't find mine, so I'm going to have to go buy a new one, like a 0 or a 1, because I'm going to do some bead crocheting, and you just don't need a big stitch with it. Let's see. Oh, I don't have my good brushes over here that I like. Okay, we'll use this one. Or this one. When you move around with your brushes all the time, you don't end up with your favorites. So these were by Artify. Oh, this was a good. So Artify, you can get like, I think it was like 12 or 15 brushes. Most of them are rounds, if not all. I can't remember now. They do have a longer handle, which I don't particularly like, but most people are okay with it. You can get them off Etsy, and I think it's under $15 for them. And you get, I think they are all round, and you get like from 0 to 15 or something, and that's the size. That's how big they are. They're a good brush. They hold a lot of water. I love it. Or paint. Their ferrules, which is the metal part, were a little loose on some of them, so I did squeeze them with my pliers. But other than that, I've had pretty good experience with them. I actually am going to use my number 7. And it's a round brush, but round brushes come to a tip. See? I love it. Let me get it in the water. I always test mine because sometimes... Sorry, my dog is hitting my table. Bear, stop it. I haven't used this number 7 yet, so that's a virgin brush. All right, so let's start with this chicken. Well, most chickens, the one I don't know the color of. Let's see what color this actually is. Oh, it's a brownie color. It's like a sepia maybe. Oh, I should have wet my chicken first. Okay, so I don't always. Let's see. Let me wet my chicken here. Can you see? Did I get you in the frame? Yep. So I'm wetting my chicken so that I'll be wet on wet. When I apply my color, let's see. He's going to have a tail up here. I didn't draw you very good, did I, poor guy? You can go back in and pick this up. So I dipped it in the water, filled my brush off. You heard me ding it because then it takes any water that's on the ferrule off so you don't get a drip. I wetted down my paper. You can see, oh yeah, you can see the shine where it is. And then I picked up some paint again to fill it. So there's not a lot of water in my brush now, but that's okay. Let's see, where do we want to start? I'm going to start on his back side. Ooh, that's already dried. I don't want you to dry. Okay. And her paints, well, maybe her paints too. I don't know. I haven't used them that much. And I haven't used this color. Okay. Okay, so her paints don't explode when you put them in the water. Let's try it again. Filling it up really good. I'm going to put it up here where I know it's wet. Okay, yeah, they are. If I get enough pigment. Okay. Then I'm putting in, I have 2 containers of water. I have a dirty one and a wet one. I don't always use 2 containers. Sometimes I only use 1. Let's see. This calm looks like a buff titanium. Let's see. So you can see what color it is there. I don't know why it's so wiggly today. My granddaughter may have moved in. I'm going to mix some buff. Ooh, I like that color that it's making. Ooh, look at that. That's a good chicken color. Oh, yeah. And they're mixed good in the water. I like that. Let's see, I'm going to pick up some of this Fierce, which, of course, is a red. Ooh, because chickens have red combs. Now, that's wet on dry because, of course, I didn't have any water up there. And then his little wattles. And that's okay if it runs a little. Ooh, I like that. I'll go in and fix those. Now, red is really going to change my watercolors. Ugh, okay. Let's see. What do we got over here? I'm guessing it's going to be a blue or a purple because we've got the pink, purple, and then this color. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's a blue. I don't want to add quite that much. And I just put my brush in them in the clean water. I don't do that very well. Let's see. Let's get some more of this. Let's add it to that. Ooh, and let's add a little of this weird green here. I can't see the color from this side. Ooh, I like that green though. It is growth. Oh, that's a perfect name for that. We're going to add some green into my chicken because they have kind of iridescence in them. And you do get some blooming with her colors when you have a lot of pigment on them. So this is a thing that I noticed with her brushes too. And this just may be because this is how she paints. So she made these. And when an artist creates a set, they're going to create it for how they create. And then that's what they're going to sell, right? So we got to get some feathers going here. And this isn't a realistic one. Let's add a little pink here. Oh yeah, look at that pink. Yeah, we'll add some pink to that. We already added a little green. I didn't particularly like that. It didn't iridesce the way I wanted. Wonder what this color is going to do to me. What is the color of this blossom? This is going to teach me to blossom and grow. And then the fearless, we will add fearless to it because they're here. Oh, I like that. That blossom added. That was good. Okay. So now we're going to go up into the tail. Now their tails are usually a little more colorful on a lot of chickens. So maybe we'll put some green in there because we want the colors to match. And I had some of that, but we need a little red in their tail too. Then we'll go back to this one. I don't know what the color is. And let's get a tail going, huh? And so Kristy, when I noticed with her brushes, and I'll have a full, I wanted to play a little bit more with her paints before I did my full review on her stuff. But one thing I noticed with her brushes is that I had to dip in the water a lot. They didn't carry as much load as what I like to paint with. But when you watch her and watch how she paints, she likes her paint to run out and then she uses that texture. So it didn't actually, it wasn't as big a surprise or shock as some people might have had. And so her paints paint a lot like that too. You have to go back and refill your color a lot. And that's fine to get the big color load. Let's get some feathers in here. That's okay. Each watercolor paint has its own not values, but its own way of it painting. Okay, so we're going to have really dark feathers under its wing here. And so like some of my favorites are Mission Magellos and Core paints. And they are both very, very heavy on the pigment, which means that when you use them, you get a lot of color. And especially with the Core, because they use synthetics in theirs that are trademarked. You don't necessarily know how it's going to explode and come on the paper, and that's fine with me. I would rather have to deal with not knowing and then working with that and having my bold colors because that's what I like. And I tend to paint no matter what I paint, even this bird, he's a little bright, but that's okay. If I was a chicken, I would probably be a guinea. They're loud. I don't know if you guys have ever had a guinea. Guineas talk a lot. They squawk. And they also lay pretty polka dot eggs. But they're just a different type of chicken. And growing up, the family I spent most of my time with out on the farm, the Rileys, the guineas weren't. Josie was the mom, and they weren't her favorites. And I was always like, oh, but I like those because they're so pretty. And the silkies are pretty. They're the white ones with the feathers. So let's see. How's that looking in there? Oh, yeah, you can see its butt. But you can see Kristy's paint, each color holds its own. It doesn't flow into the other, which is interesting. So they do mix well together, but they'll also hold their own. That's very interesting how they move. So you have to learn the movement of each of your paints, no matter what kind it is. I want a darker brown. So what I'm going to do is there's green here. So we're going to add to that. Add to that. This is the tinned. So we're, see how it darkened that up? We're going to add some more. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this blue. Oh, yeah. Because I want a darker color. Now, most of my paint pans, palettes that you see, I have, well, usually 36, 48, 72 colors. Those are called convenience colors because then you don't have to mix as much. And this is like a Van Dyke brown is what I mixed. If you're looking for a color, and there you can see, I'll set it up over here. I should have made I think I should have made my camera higher. One, it would have helped with the wiggle, but two, it would have helped with the, you guys seeing more of my thing. And the other thing I'm noticing is that her paints are semi-opaque more than transparent, I would say. Not all of them, but you can see from her palette that Calm is going to have white in it. Sweet will have white in it. Whatever this color was over here will have white in it. I can't remember that one's name. Growth, maybe. I'll get her names down. I'm not, paint names don't. There are painters that's very important to them to know the names. In the end, I guess it's probably good to know your names, but when I'm selling my painting, that's not what the people are buying. So there we go. So what I did was I got my brush wet. It still had paint on it, but I wanted to reactivate some of this. And part of that is I have a paper that isn't 100% cotton, so a lot of the paint sits on the top. And I'm going to use this color. So I could reactivate it and move it around still. There we go. We need feathers here. I'm going to let it dry a little here. We'll work on our face. Because right now I have a faceless bird. Poor thing. Let's get you to face. There we go. And usually their faces are lighter than the rest of their bodies, especially their backsides. There we go. And let's go back to here. I like that even her white paint, or, you know, the ones that have white, they're called tints. Whenever you lighten a paint, it's called a tint. Lighten anything in art is called a tint. Like tent, T-I-N-T, not tent like a tent you sleep in. I like that they're not chalky. It's not turning my other colors chalky. I like that. That's a good thing for Chris. Thank you, Kristy. So overall, I'm really happy with her paints. I think especially if I had done a flower for my first thing with them, or, you know, florals, I'd been real happy. Now, just because, I mean, we have this huge neon green here, or yellow. It's kind of tennis ball color. So I think we might as well put some in. So here's what it looks like. I'll show you guys. Let's see. Can you see? Let me move my water a little bit. There's what it looks like. Woo! I'm going to add a little brown to it because, I mean, we might as well. It's a chicken. Oh, look at that. And so our chicken, and so I'll glaze it. That means you take a watery, consistent paint and put it over the top of, usually it's dry, but I wanted to pick up some color. So there we go. You can see where the wing is. You can see up here where the sun would be hitting. And I think I'll take some more of my Fearless color. And yes, I did just mess it up there with some of that, but look, it wipes right off. It's watercolor. It's not going to kill your paints to have that. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to have to put another glaze over it because it made it just a little too bit yellow because that yellow is so bright, but that's okay. I'm going to add some yellow up here. And then their beaks are usually orange, and we don't have an orange in here, but we have this color, which, what was it? It's driving me nuts. Blossom. We have Blossom with a lot of other colors on top. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this Fearless and a little bit of red, which is called Fierce. Oh, there. I got a good orange. I may add a little of this pink, whatever that is. Oh, there. Okay, see, this looks a little chalky now. Not quite as bright, so I may add a little bit more red. There we go. To brighten it up a little. We'll give her a beak. I didn't do such a good job with that beak, did I? I have a poor disformed chicken. Ooh, that was really bad. Okay, so a couple things. You could see I blotted it right off. There is a stain around there. That's okay. I'm not going to be too concerned. If I had a magic eraser sponge, you could fix that. While this is drying, I'll probably use, oh, I can glaze. Is this dry enough? I got the fan blowing on me a little bit. So I'll put a little bit of this here. This color, what the heck did I write? D-E-I-V-E. That's not even a word, Kristen. I don't know what I wrote there. So I'm going to put a glaze back up. Oh, there. That glaze toned down that bright just a little bit, which it needed. I didn't want an orange chicken. And we'll put a little bit of spotting in here because they do have spots on them. And their feathers. My dogs are just being so good. It's their nap time today. I'm going to add a little bit of texturing up here because I will put an eye in here. And we will get that beak. Let's see. Okay. I rinse my brush out. And when you rinse your brush out for the, like, I'm probably not going to use it again. I rinsed it and then I wiped it down that way so my bristles are in the right spot. I don't have one of my brush rests out here because I want it to dry that way without getting my brushes funny shape. So I'm just going to lay it here on my pan and it'll dry. Now let's see. We need a tiny little brush. How about this one right here? This is also from my Artify. This is a number 3. It's a tiny one. So let's see. I wet it. I know I've never used this one. I don't usually use tiny brushes. I usually just use the end of my points. But I was having trouble with this little beak for some reason today. So I think it's because it was in the wrong spot when I drew it. There we go. There we go. So much better. So now, Remy, what you doing over there? So now that I got my little brush, I think I'm going to use my Fierce. I think I just used it. Oops. See how there's water all over my barrel or my ferrule? You see the drips? I'm going to wipe those off because I don't want it to drip down into my painting. You know, because this is a masterpiece here. I'm going to add some red in here too because I like to add color everywhere in my paintings so that they all match. Add some lines. And, you know, we're not doing a real chicken anyway, so what difference does it make? We'll just add some feathering lines back here. And it picks up the colors that are already around it, so it's going to be okay. Because that's what it is. Is anybody watching the U.S. Open? I used to play tennis a lot when I was a child, all the way through college, and So I've been watching the US Open. Usually the little combs on the top of their head aren't pointed like I had them. So I'm going to try and make those a little bit straighter. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Maybe I'll add another one. Oh, yeah, that's what I needed. Just a little more like that. And it's Serena Williams' last tennis match as a professional. So I've been having fun watching her. She played Monday night and last night. She won both her matches. She's getting better as she goes along, which is very typical of her when she plays. She hasn't played for a while. She's one of the rare people who can do that. Not everyone can. There, that looks much better. Now, I think the head needs to go up a little. So we still got some brown over there. So I'm going to bring the head up in here, and my paints may run together. That's okay. That's part of watercolor. That's how they're made. That's part of this medium's charm, or part of what makes it hard for some people to deal with, is that it's a runner. There we go. Did I get all my color off here? Yep. Okay, so I am going to go in right here. I dropped a big old blob. I'm going to let it sit and see if I can't get a little bit more color off there. I don't have... So in watercolor, there are brushes that are really hard, and they're called scrubber brushes. I don't think I have a scrubber brush down here. Well, this one might be good if it's not got any color in it. It doesn't. So it's much stiffer bristles. What is this brush? Let's see. It's a Polar Flow by Creative Mark. So it's probably a used for acrylics. My scrubber brush, the one I like, is actually a really cheap oil brush that I had from when I took oils in college, because you had to take that class too. There we go. Now, whenever you abrade your paper, like what I'm doing now, if I go too much more, you can't really paint over it because you'll tell that there was something different in the paper. And this is an expensive paper. So I will probably have to put a little bit of a background on it to cover up that. I'll probably do some background something or other now. Let's see. I can put the legs on with my ink. I would just paint them, but I don't have a true black out here, or even a dark what I want for them. So chicken's legs are longer than you think there are. My marker's almost out. So today, let's see, I pulled out, I wanted a thicker line for it. So I'm just using the Sharpie pen, and it's the little narrow point. Couple things I like about my Sharpie. One, it dries fast and doesn't smear. Two, it has a really nice thick line. And usually I won't ruin it if there's still some water somewhere that I'm touching it, because felt tips or permanents like this don't like to have be touched to wetness. This is still pretty wet. But I am going to go in and does it go this way? Come up, over. I think it comes up and over that way. Yep. Add that. And I'm going to add some distinguishing marks back here onto my feathers so that people can tell that that's what those are supposed to be. So Kim's husband was having some breathing troubles, so she was taking care of him today. And Tuesday, I was going to have a bead boutique because it was bead boutique week, and not crafting week, and not sales on Thursday today. But I was having internet problems. Thanks, Comcast. Those got fixed finally. They're building a whole new subdivision right by us. I have a feeling it had something to do with that. So I just wanted to add some squiggly lines around my chicken because it looked too flat. And I messed up at the top of my legs, so I figured that would be a good way to do it. And I may be able to fix my beak if I do this with this maybe and not have to add a background. Although I usually add backgrounds to most of my paintings. Let's see, we need some fluff up there. See, I should be getting in some new beads today or tomorrow. I have to check the mail again. Combs usually have some stuff here. They usually have polka dot things on them. And then let's see if this is my beak, which now it is. Then one thing I've noticed with birds, you want the eye close to the beak because they look better that way. I don't know if that's really how they are, but when we look at them, that tends to be how we see them. And so I've noticed when I paint them that I make them closer than maybe they really are. There we go. And then I think it needs some feathers down here, which these were what those kind of were becoming. I don't know. I don't have a picture because my phone is in use, obviously, and my iPad is what I'm watching the chat on. Not much chat today, which is fine. This is just an impromptu thing that I thought might get me to do some. I needed to do something. I have to run to the post office and drop off Beth's package. It won't get there by the 3rd since today's the 1st. She lives in Florida. But it'll be close, I guess. And then she'll probably get, what's today, Thursday? Oh, she'll get it Tuesday. Oh, well. Oh, well. I'm late as always. You know, before I moved into my new house that I live in, which it's not new, but we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary here today. And I was never late for anything. I was always like getting birthday cards out or Christmas cards. Christmas cards never, but birthday cards, yes. I think I had one more thing here and I didn't do it, so I need to do that. But since we moved in here, I'm like late to everything. It's crazy. Let's see. I think I did it with this one. And so it's very weird. I don't like it. I don't like being late to things. So, oh, good. That one will be a little bit lighter. There. And see, I just drew that with a Sharpie, and it's hanging in there. It didn't smear or nothing. I think I'm gonna put a little bit outside the lines there. And we need, should it be on grass or should it be, I think there should be a little bit of grass down there for it. Is this color pretty? Let's see. I didn't use it. Ooh, that's a yellowy green. We need some more green. Oh, maybe the two of them will be my perfect color. Let's add a little tint to that. Ooh, look at that grass color. I mixed up. That's a good one. So we'll just put a little bit of grass down here for it. And then need some kernels or corn or something probably. A little bit of flickies. Because, you know, grass has flickies. I don't know. So to do flickies, you hold your brush perpendicular straight and just use the very ends of your brush. That's how you get those little flick lines. Should have thought of that before. There we go. And then let's see. I should add a little hint of blue. And didn't we say this one was a really pretty blue? Or did I not? I have green in there. It's not going to be pretty blue with that green. Oh, yeah, it is. So I've watered it down extreme. And then I'm just going to put some blue up here. I'm going to turn it around. That's one thing. I see people painting and they don't move their paper and their arms are all twisted up. Don't do that to yourself. That's horrible. When you finish, you don't want to be in pain. So just go ahead and move your paper around a little bit. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt anything. Even if you're in a sketchbook, you can still move it around. Make it easy on yourself so that you enjoy it and don't get hurt. You get carpal tunnel or something, you're not going to be able to keep painting. And that's what happens when you don't move your paints around. Okay, see? So I used the blue to kind of camouflage what was going on there with my big old mistake. And it's kind of damp, so if I drop in a little bit of color up here, it'll just make it just a bit darker up there, and that's okay. And I have some splashies up there. So what we'll do is we'll pick up, I got a lot of water in my brush, and there are lots of ways to flick. I use my finger, and these are going to be bigger. That's okay. Let's see what we can get going on down here. I'll let those go for a second. And it's damp, so they're going to diffuse. Some of them will stay pinpointed, some of them won't. I may pick up a little bit of this blue because I liked it a lot. Ooh. Maybe a couple of those down there. And my chicken got it. My chicken doesn't need any. So we'll just dot it off the chicken. I don't know why I can't get little splats where I want them. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of blue or a little bit of red. I just did the blue. And the splatters show what colors you used, or that's how I was taught. They're supposed to allow the viewer's eyes to know what you used. So you don't have to do them a lot, but I'm kind of having fun with them. So, and then what other color? We did the brown. We did a little bit of red. And how about we did a little bit of blue. Oh, how about some of this green? We'll just use the tint, I think. Oh, I got some really tiny ones. That's okay. And there's some on the chicken that I didn't want, so a few of them have dried. That's okay. It's not like it's a masterpiece or anything, but I can probably, I'll scan it and keep it as something. It may go on my website as, you know, just as a picture of something I've done. Those are nice to have. Or I might put it on a card and just mail it to somebody one day, just thinking of you. Clucking around. How about you? Something like that. So that's not bad. Let's see. We were on for 44 minutes. I thought I'd make it an hour with the chicken. I'm not really digging my sky much with all those icky ones, but oh well. If I scan it in, I could. The fun thing about scanning things is you could take out the backgrounds. So all in all, I'll give her paints a pretty good review. I must say, I don't mind them at all. I think I'll this is a different paper. Let's see. Bye, chickadee. Actually, the chicken turned out fairly good. I'm kind of surprised. Put this away. I think my scrubber got clean, but I'll just make sure. Okay. I also ordered this round when I made some orders. I got Lindsay Wyrick, who is the Frugal Crafter. One of her favorite things is watercolor, which makes me very happy because obviously that's what I do. I have done all types of crafting over the years. I've probably done most of them, but she put out a brush set, so I just got that in the mail. My son brought it in. He came home sick today. Just not feeling good, so I just tipped the camera. So there. This is called a cat's tongue brush. This was in the Artify group. It's a 3/4 inch, so it's a pretty big one, but I thought I would maybe make a flower. I really like this pink. I don't think I'll finish it, but in 15 minutes. But let's see. We'll kind of do. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how this works. It's got some of that sweet in it. That's that color right there. You can see from my brush. And that's okay. I rolled. So the cat's tongue makes the petals in this case, or the leaves for you. It has a long, like I said, that's what I don't like about these, is that it has a long, like, handle. Is this an Artify too? Let me find one that's not Artify in my little group here. Are they all Artifys? Oh, here. This is a Snap Masters Gold. So this is Hobby Lobby's. So the ferrules are a little longer in the Artify. And then if I put the end of the ferrule into the ferrule, there's an added inch to it. To me, that would be a long-handled brush and not a normal size brush. But there are people who like more long-handled brushes. No, I'm not one of those people. People who paint, well, a lot of oil painters really like long-handled brushes. That's because they paint in an easel and you stand back further from your stuff. So that's okay. I think most of mine, even those, I think I painted. I don't know. I can't remember if I painted a short handle or long handle when I did those. And most of my acrylics I know are short handle because my husband wanted to paint, try some painting. And I gave him all the long handle brushes that I had. He was doing acrylic. And then let's see. I'll need another pink flower up here. I'm just doing this from my head, so I'm not sure what kind of flowers we'll get here. Oh, this is one of these kind of flowers. So these are easy to make, especially with the cat tongue, because see, they usually have 5. And I'll do a little bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, that one was kind of off. I'll do another one right here. 1, 2. Probably can't see the other ones behind there. That's okay. We'll get some more. 1. Oh, good. I got more purpley on this one. And my paint's not drying in between me laying these down, so they are going to overlap. But when you're looking at a bouquet, they're overlapped like that, so that's okay. 1, 2. Turn my brush over. 3, 4, 5. And now I've kind of run out of space for those, so I'm going to move up a little, but I got a good bundle going on there. This will be room for leaves. I think I want to do more of a peak, another big peak one. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. I'll start here. We'll do a pink. And we'll do, it needs that. And a little bit of that. And then maybe it will come around. So it's still a little bit more purpley than that one. Oh well. That's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? So let's see. I haven't rinsed off that brush yet. That's okay, because I'm going to still do some more flowers with it. This is, that's just a big round. I wanted, do I not have any more cat's tongues in here? I have this little cat's tongue. What are you? Oh, that's one of my rosemary brushes. That's an expensive one. I haven't opened yet. So this is Kristy's, hers. It's a cat's tongue, and she calls her brush, this one, watercolor curious. So how appropriate that I'm using one of her greens. Let's see what kind of, oh, I'm scared. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. So she likes this. That's kind of her style. And her brushes just don't carry the water like I like them to. So that's okay. That's just the way she likes to paint. There. I like to have more paint and more, you know, it's funny. I have used a hole down into my Fearless because I guess I like that color. And it picked up some of that color. That's okay. It's not a very pretty leaf though. There. We'll have to go back in and add some colors. Huh. I'm not making good leaves at all. Let's see. Did I make a green? Okay. Let's see. Maybe we can make some good, cute little leaves out of here. Because, you know, these have little leaves. I'm just not I'm not feeling leafy today or something. It may be just the brush. I may have to go back to my round or my square. I use a square brush a lot, not necessarily a round. But I know that a lot of people, filberts are flat like this, only they come to a rounded oval end. Sometimes they're called oval brushes. Okay, let's add some Fearless to this. I am not, I haven't really used a lot of filbert brushes, although in Lindsay's um, um, set, I think it's mostly filbert. So when I open that, we'll see that. This is a really not nice bouquet. I guess that's what I get for trying to make something up out of my head, huh? I don't know. Let's see. Let's add some more berries over here. I can't remember what these little flowers are called. They're some kind of hibiscus kind of thing. I don't know. That's probably not the right brush to use. So her bristles do hold your paint color well. They just don't offload it as easily as I like. But they're not bad. Let's see. I'm going to use my snap. Which one are you? Are you snap or master? This is a Princeton snap brush. Princeton makes several different ones. Snap is one of their beginning artist brushes you can find, and I really like them. They're not cheap, but they're fairly inexpensive. Good for a starter. And I will I pull it out a lot. This is the number 10 round. So this is a fairly big one. Holds a lot of water and a lot of paint at the same time. Am I on the screen here? I moved my brushes and they got in the way. So here we go. So now I'm using my number 10 to add just some coloring in there, some stripes. No, you don't, because my hand is in the way. Here, I'll paint it with this hand and then you will see them. So I used to paint a lot left-handed. There we go. So now at least you can see them. This one is the one that needs the help the most because it got all clumpy together. But by using my left hand, I'm going to get not as thin lines because I'm not used to painting this way anymore. Okay. Which is okay. I think I'm going to do it on this one too. So this one, the center is going to be here, and we're going to go up and out from there. Up and out. And then up and out. Down and out, because this is the downward stroke there. And then I'm probably going to need some more paint. My brush is fairly dry now, but that's okay because I want the color, not the wetness right now. I want, because I'm doing more lining. Trying to add some emphasis and some texture. There we go. I'm going to add some circles here. You can't do it with that hand, Kristen. This one has the circles in it. I can't remember what that flower is called that looks more like this with the circles. Okay, and I'm adding to the middle. Now, I am going to switch back to my other hand to do this because I'm getting the Fearless. So I'll hold this up like this so you guys can see. So I got the Fearless on. That's the bright neon. I'm going to put some of it down in here. See? Because flowers often have yellow because that's the pollen or the nectar. Well, the nectar's cream or wet. So is it pollen? And these are yellow in the middle. So that is the nice thing about having the semi-opaque is you can add it on top and it does show up. I am going to go out. Look at this. See that? That's beautiful in there. That's because of the paint and the water and how they mix. And I'm adding a glaze over that one. And these got kind of dark and we like bright. So we're going to go back in with a glaze. And now I need a brown. So I think this, the one that I don't know the color for. So I got brown on it, and we're going to make little stimmies in here. Keep moving. I'm moving the whole table, aren't I? See, we make little stimmies because they're all connected in their own little ways. And you don't have to be exact with these because your brain will automatically be like, oh yeah, that's what that's supposed to be. And it will create the connections. Your brain is always looking for things it knows, and situations it knows. And so if it knows there's supposed to be a stem there, it'll create one if you have just the marking of one. So let's see, we need something there. I'm gonna have this come out. Ooh, it's still wet in that one. And then like here. And then this one. Such a beautiful leaf there. So this is not near finished in any way. It's pretty not. But one of the things I love to do is add my backgrounds, and I like to add them fairly dark like this. So that will be something I will probably do as I work on this one. I'll have to go look at my flower encyclopedia, or on my iPad I have a lot of my paintings I've uploaded, and I can go in there and look at, oh yeah, I made that flower there, and I did this. Sometimes if you leave an edge of white, it helps a lot. But if you have places like that you need to fix something, because you can add your deep dark colors in there, and you can fix little places, or you can leave them white. Like here, I'm going to leave a little bit of white in there, but I'm also going to put some blue in with it, so you can see it's in the background, and then I'll get lighter as I go out. So that's how I like to finish. You don't have to do it in blue either. If I had black, or I had some of my other sets here, I might do that. And I left an edge here. That's good. Yummy. So you use that, and you can see I really put heavy water on there, but you can see your paint dispersing in that. That's good. That's yummy. You can pick up your paper and guide it, guide where it goes. This paper it was rolled on a cylinder, so it looks like there's a tire that ran over it. Those are tire marks, so you got lots of those. If you don't like that, then you want to cover it up with brush strokes instead. So there's lots of things you can do with watercolor. It doesn't have to be boring or hard, and it's neither of those things. I think it's explosive and fun, and I enjoy it a lot. It's my favorite painting medium. I'll use acrylics just because they work on things, on surfaces better than a lot of paints do. Oops, my card fell down. But I don't tend to paint. Even when I do mixed media, I tend to use watercolor. Let's see. I think we need to continue my little white line with that leaf, even though that's not my favorite leaf. That certainly made that little hyanthesis, or whatever it is, come forward. So it's not done, but it's getting there. And I learned some stuff on this one, and I learned her colors more. I learned how they go on with heavy water. I learned how they layered. I did some mixing on both my paper and on the palette. So that's good. You don't have to, not every piece is a masterpiece. And this watercolor paper I'm using right here isn't high-end watercolor paper. You can tell from the texture. So it was a good one to practice on. Plus, and I use different brushes today too. I got to try those out and play around with what kind of strokes and marks they make. I usually like doing that because like this, I can finish this up and, you know, cut it down and make it into a bookmark and give it to someone, or put it on a card, you know, cut it to the card, the right size for a card, and put it on a greeting card and send it to somebody. So there's ways to use your practice pieces so that even if they're not the most beautiful things in the world, you can still use them. And this I love anyway, going in with my white pen and my black pen and gold and silver and adding to it. So doing some of that mixed media. And so I'll do that too. I like having those around just when I'm watching shows with my husband and stuff, and I want to do something where I'm watching those. I can have my pens and some of these papers out, and I could play with them. So I think that been on a little longer than an hour, and I'm going to be done for today because I do have to go to the mailbox still, the post office box. Although I'd rather just wait till tomorrow when I'm out anyway, because we will pick up my kiddo. I think we'll have my grandchild tomorrow night, or I'm not sure, or maybe we'll have her Sunday or Saturday and Sunday night. I'm not sure which. I'll have to talk to her tonight and find out. And then, because it's a holiday weekend, I think I'm going to finish this. That's what I will probably do, is finish this and play with some mixed media stuff on it. If you guys don't have anyone else to watch tonight, Beth Schuler will be on her channel. Like I said, I think I usually watch her, is it 5 o'clock my time? Which is 7 o'clock her time. So yeah, I think that's the right time, which is 7 o'clock Eastern. And it's just Beth Schuler, Shuller. And she does like an hour or 2 hours usually of crafting. She'll do some painting and some coloring or watercolors or acrylics or who knows what. And then she usually has a challenge. So it's September 1st. So I don't know what challenge we're going to have for the month of September. They did artist trading cards in July, which I did not do. And then in August, we did the tags. And then September, I'm not sure. So I'll have to watch tonight and see what she says, because that will be fun to be a part of. I'm kind of starting to do some of that stuff just because I'm having trouble doing a lot with the torch with my right hand, and jewelry making with my right hand. It swells up really bad. So from overuse syndrome. So I've been having fun painting. And I'm trying to get my website up, which requires picture taking and then putting it on. I really don't mind the picture taking so much anymore as I mind just the mindlessness of putting everything in the computer. So tomorrow I might go to Starbucks or one of our coffee places and do that. Maybe my husband will get his laptop out and come with me. I don't know. So thank you for joining me. This was the chicken, and it dried really well. I got some blobbies up here, but that's okay. I can write something right there if I decide to send it as a card. And it turned out pretty good, you know, for a freehand chicken. Walk, walk. So Now I want chicken for dinner. No, I'm just kidding. We're not having chicken for dinner. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great Thursday and have a great holiday weekend if I don't see you before. Bye.